It's only been 2 weeks. I need to talk about this. I have to justify what's happened, what I've done, at least to myself. I can't talk to anyone else. Maybe if I just lay it all out in my log, it'll finally make sense. I can see where it all went wrong, where I went wrong. I suppose it started 2 weeks ago while I was posting the weekly casualty list in the wardroom. Every Friday morning for the past 3 months, I've posted the official list of personnel killed, wounded, or missing in the war. It's become something of a grim ritual around here. Not a week goes by that someone doesn't find the name of a loved one, a friend, or an acquaintance on that damned list. I've grown to hate Fridays. That was the opening soliloquy of an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine some years ago. And unlike modern TV, it dealt with some very dark issues. But I remember hearing that, and some echoes started to bounce around in my head about my early days in intelligence training. It is narcissistic of us as soldiers to have the requirement that we feel good about winning. It is only incumbent upon us that we win. How we feel about it is irrelevant. And until you can get beyond that and accept that, you can never be a soldier. You can never be part of a movement. There are many things done in the military that don't make it into video games. What went on in that particular episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine called In the Pale Moonlight centers around things that are done that don't make it into video games. Now, if you would like a detailed breakdown of how that episode applies directly to the current situation, the only place I can talk about it openly is over at Patreon for $1 a month. It is far too controversial for this platform because it deals with the reality of winning and how you win. This will be the video that you look for. People bend, they adapt, but they don't change. Defeating BLM Antifa, the definitive guide. I was really shocked when this came out, but it was a long time ago. And since then, I don't think an episode like this would be able to make it through the censors. I really don't. Because of what had to occur. What had to go down. And if any of the accusations being made by BLM or Antifa are true about those of us they perceive to be their enemy, they don't stand a chance if we really are who they say we are. Because if that's the case, the things that we would be willing to do would be far beyond what their moral code and their moral compass would allow them to do. And that's who always wins wars. Those who are willing to put aside the silly, childish, sophomoric notion, narcissistic notion, that you need to feel good about winning. You just need to win. And if you want to know how, go to Patreon. $1 a month. And it'll break down step by step, line by line, everything you need to do on your own personal platforms to completely neuter that group of people. Now, oddly enough, the episode that I'm talking about was season 6, episode 19. 6/19. Guess what 6/19 is? Juneteenth. This celebration of freedom. This celebration of emancipation that everyone is looking forward to. All of the speeches, all of the marches, all of this nonsense. And they're going to completely talk around the issue of what happened during that era. And they're going to try to rewrite history. They're going to try to, without directly contradicting the facts on the ground, create a new narrative about them around their own selfish wants, their own selfish needs, to feel good about things like this. You know, it's funny to find all the things that end with the word matters. I found this one. And if you really think about it, it makes a lot more sense than it would lead you to believe initially. Trust I seek and I find in you, every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. So close no matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way, life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. The truth is out there if you want to find it. But more importantly, the truth is out there if you need to find it. I find it ironic that it was an African-American actor that showed us the way. That showed that those who want to win and those who end up winning will do whatever they need to do. One second here. Computer is not working with me like it should. People don't change. People don't change. They just have momentary steps outside of their character. And if everything you went to BLM, you went to Antifa, and you said, we accept all of your allegations, we accept everything you're saying is true, then logic would follow that what you're doing isn't going to change anything. Because if you truly believe this, change cannot come by force. Change cannot come by force, because the current situation, as you perceive it to be, is things are like they are because of force. Because there are policemen and there are security forces. You take them away, and then you believe things will change. But people don't change. They have momentary steps outside of their character. So why burn down a store? Why do all of the things that you've done? Why commit all the violence? That's a form of force. You're attempting to scare people into agreeing with you, believing you, or by some videotape of what you're doing that someone is going to see that and go, oh no, we've gone too far now. We should change the way we are. Is that what you did? No. Absolutely not. Lady Antebellum, different actors and actresses, making all of this show is just that. It's show. And it isn't going to change, anything. Even though you say that change only comes this way, nothing changed about you based on the force coming the other direction. This is the illogic that gives us the opening to do the ugly things that sometimes war fighting requires. And believe me, there were people that didn't make it in Army intelligence. There were people that didn't make it in Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy intelligence because of this narcissistic idea that you need to feel good about winning. Oh, they can put up all the shiny images they want, but that's not how wars are won. And that's just the reality. You can accept it or not. And I will leave it there. Like, share, subscribe.